Wait. You can hear me right now. Bro, this is so broken. It's like nothing works. It's crazy. Hello, Mackenzie. Hold on. Wait, you can hear music right now. This moment. Yes or no? That's so stupid. No, you can hear Andrew's music, not my music.
Yeah, that's my music, baby.
Wait, hold on.
But no one can see us.
I know, it's not important, right? Everyone, ignore this. We're not here. Hold on.
No, everyone, this is professional.
Can you hear this music?
No.
You're kidding me.
Nothing, Patrick. Nothing.
What is wrong with this application? Okay, hold on. No, I've got it. Hold on, I've got it. Wait, here we go.
There we go.
Huh?
Yes.
All right, everybody shut the curtain.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this?
Here's the thing. Sonar's got to figure their stuff out. Sonar has got to figure. It's been fine. We use this weekly. No problems at all. And then today.
Get your act together, Sonar.
Today
No
just
one has
problems.
time for your bullshit.
Problems galore. Okay. What are we? Are we even supposed to be podcasting tonight?
No, we're not. This is a bonus episode, but this is like I needed it for my soul.
I get that. I
have a weary and tired soul, and so this is a bonus episode.
We should probably tell. Oh, Will, hello, Becca, hello. Even have an issue with Sonar as well. Yeah, I know. I already did a full computer restart tonight, and then it worked briefly, and then started having trouble again. So I love the application. I think it's a great application when it works. I got distracted. Distracted. We should probably tell Slack potentially that we're podcasting. Does that seem important?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Okay. You want to drop it in there?
Oh.
All right. That said, I'm keeping my category tonight. I pulled reading.
Same.
I'm gonna talk about a reading. I'm gonna do a top 10 list of bottles of shampoo I've read while on the toilet.
Great. I'm dropping this into Slack right now.
What if we just kept it like this the whole night?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. This is a bonus episode. I just dropped it into. Oh wait.
Okay, great.
I have to hit send.
You did
there
send. Yeah.
It has been a long day and a long week, and we need to chat. So okay. I think we need to start recording.
Yeah.
I think we need to start recording, and that's where we start, right? Yeah,
sure.
That seems right. So let's record in 3, 2, 1.
It's fine.
I'm going to intro us.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to intro us.
Okay. Does it feel weird doing this as a duo when we're normally a trio?
It does feel a little weird. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to see if we can grab somebody real quick?
Yeah. Let's see if we can grab someone.
Will, what are you doing? You want to join us? How about this? Luke, can you join us?
Hi.
Hey. Okay. Great.
Hi.
Hi. Wow, that actually is terrifying. Go back. Hold on.
Good Lord.
Go back to your hole. Never mind. That was a mistake. That was completely. That's on me. I did like the idea of like, let's just leave. Let's see how far in the episode we can get before Luke is like,
I wonder, Luke, how long would you have stayed before you just left?
I probably would have stayed the whole time.
That would have been great. That would have been great.
He would have just started using chat after a while.
Absolutely. I would have gotten the joke and I would have just rolled with it and it'd have been hilarious.
I mean, you have to have respect for that.
Yeah.
Like, that level joke, you'd be like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like I'm with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, everybody, let's kick this thing off.
I didn't notice your carpet was orange, but I was also recovering. I was recovering from a concussion from hitting your ceiling, so.
You're very
Hang on.
tall.
You guys just need to wait. Just wait.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm waiting. Here we go.
Welcome to episode 585 of the Pop Culture Roundtable, the podcast that's back to basics. In this episode, we talk about Warhammer, the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, and the Netflix house. I'm Andrew Sale.
I'm Luke Gall.
I'm Patrick Hill.
We're
We
a bit
didn't.
rusty. So get ready for a blast from the past and old faces made old again.
Sue old.
It's good. Yes.
Yeah.
It's good. Oh, this episode's for us. That's what. If
Yeah.
other
Everyone
people are
else
here,
leave.
That's fine.
Don't leave.
Somehow we've managed to
Sue
triple up on
old.
the. There we go.
Oh.
There it is.
Every week, we like to talk about the things that happen throughout the week. That's called our Around the Table. Those are new, fun, and noteworthy things. The most noteworthy thing right now is that you may not have understood that Lauren's not here when you heard Luke's voice. But that's because Luke's here. Ladies and
I'm here.
gentlemen, welcome Luke Gowell back to the show.
Yeah. You said that in the most convoluted way you could possibly say that.
That is the best I could muster under the circumstances.
That's like the prompt for that was keep them guessing.
Yeah. Don't even let my brain know what's happening next.
Luke, hello.
Hello.
This is a bonus episode because typically we do the first and the third weeks, but this is actually the fifth Monday.
Right.
It
But
is.
man, it's been a long week, and so I just
We made it to
needed-
5, guys. You get it? You guys get it?
No.
I actually, what's funny is I think I still have queued up in my soundboard. I do. The stuff from let me see if I can find it. It's
What's up, Master
Go ahead.
One? Happy Friday.
Hey.
It's crazy. I remember us sitting down together. in a
The
coffee
Micah
shop
Hasty.
in New Philadelphia, Dover, Ohio. And
Sure.
Absolutely, just dreaming about what this podcast
This
was
was
going to be.
way
And I'm
more-
sitting down with Andrew,
Yeah,
Patrick, and Luke,
it's
and
very
it's long.
lofty.
So I guess I forgot how long it was. But in that he references that we made it to 5 guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he joined us for our 5th episode. And
That's
we did
right.
That
That's right.
song and
Yeah.
everything. Turns out that was like a 4-minute clip, and I forgot how long.
Well,
it
it's
was.
Micah. I mean, that's what happened.
That's true. But yeah, it's good to see you, Luke. It's good to have you back in front of my face. Why was
You
this...
asked me to.
It's true. Yep. I'm
You
not
it was
surprised.
your idea.
I'm not surprised. I'm just saying it's good. It's
Oh,
good to
I
see-
thought you were asking why I'm here.
Oh, no.
Oh.
What I was going to preface, or what I was going to set up, though, is why it was so easy for you to say yes to this.
Oh, I have no life. I still have no life.
That's not what I
It does seem like that's maybe what you were suggesting.
No,
Andrew.
because the 3 of us talked the other day.
Oh,
because
yeah, that's
you and
true.
I'm trying to set up you guys telling the
well,
freaking-
you're doing a bad job.
we're
Let someone
getting
else.
to the around the table now. Patrick,
We're in it.
what's
We're
happened
the
in your
around the
week?
table.
Would
We're
you
here.
believe that that's the best segue he can come up with after all this time?
I'm telling
Yes,
you.
I do believe it.
We're in our
do.
11th year.
Here's the
Can you
thing.
believe that, Luke? It's been
We
it's
called.
over
Luke and I
10 years.
called Andrew, and
Yes.
while the phone was ringing, I did have a realization, or maybe Luke asked me, and that prompted my realization. I
had a
never.
realization when Luke pointed out.
I don't even think I ever told you I was gonna be around Luke. And so I called you, and Luke started talking, but I could tell you had no idea who it was.
No, I had no idea. And it's not because I don't recognize Luke's voice. It's just because you only
It didn't
said
make
like
sense. Yeah.
you only said 2 words at first
Yeah.
initially, and then it was just like it was like hey, and then something else, 1 word. What's another word that could have been said? Giraffe. And then that was it. And then I started like, and then the words doubled because then Patrick
Right.
said it. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a minute,
yeah.
why is he saying the same thing twice? Wait, the voices are different. What's happening? I only vaguely knew you were in Ohio, just for the record. I know you had mentioned that you were going to be going to Ohio at some point.
Yeah.
But I only vaguely remembered that.
At the
and so,
start of the year, I tell you all the places I might be going that year,
exactly.
and then it's up to you to figure out when. That's the game.
This Amsterdam? Shoot, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I had no
Why is Luke in Amsterdam?
my brain took about 15 seconds to catch up with the reality.
Yeah, and then you were like, "Oh, hi, Luke,"
yeah. I'm like, who else could that possibly have been?
and
knew
that's
it
when I
wasn't-
realized you didn't know.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't.
Yeah. But that said, Luke, I got to hang out with Luke. I forced him to do exactly what I wanted to do, which is we went and played some disc golf. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know how your body was going to take that or if you play. Rolling the dice.
You know what? Verdict's
He
still
was
out.
rolling dice.
It's fine. That's
Okay.
all I knew how to do.
And then
Was he surprisingly good or surprisingly bad?
I would compare him to Johnny.
Oh,
And on top
okay.
of that, he throws forearm the whole time. So it is like
Unless
playing with Johnny.
putting, I putt regular.
Normal.
That's good because you're a left-hander.
I am.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. We just
Did you
played
not
like
know
a
historically that Luke is left-handed?
no. Well,
He uses his left hand for
video
most
chat
things.
mirrors everything you do anyway, so I'd have no idea.
Yeah.
And
But it was
only knows you through the internet. There's
He
no-
forgot that whole time where
there's
we
no
lived in the
personal
same
connection.
city.
It's all internet.
no, I shut it all out. But what I'm excited about, that I think our audience will actually care about, is Luke introduced me to a new game
Yeah.
called Bandita, which I had never played before. Apparently, Bandita is the sequel to Bandito.
You're right.
I basically am. I know it all now. Andrew, have you played this game?
I want to say yes, but that would be a lie.
Great. I could describe it, but Luke will do better. So, Luke, describe Bandita for people. And Mackenzie, go ahead and order this while Luke's describing it.
It's a cooperative game, but it's just a card game. So there's a central card that you place, and then on your turn you get 3 cards, and all you're doing is trying to cut off the escape for the bandita. And so
Which
at
is a
the
female
end,
bandit, I'm realizing by looking at the artwork.
that's what Spanish is.
Yeah.
And so you have to lay one of your cards. You can't draw new cards unless you play one. So there's no like getting rid of a bad hand. And so you're forced to be playing these cards, and you will open up new pathways. The central card starts with like 6 exits, and then you have to block them all off. And it's really fun. Super
It's
easy.
impossible.
It's almost like an activity, not necessarily a game, because there's not
Right.
much strategy. You can communicate, and we were communicating because it was your first game, but normally you're only supposed to like say, I can help with like this exit. You can't really say what you can do, and we did that for the most part.
I
But
see.
in general, that's how you're supposed to play.
So that means we cheated most of the game, and we still
And
lost terribly.
The game is hard. The game
Yeah.
is hard, but it's fun.
But
It's
if you
real
like-
easy. It takes about, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe the most.
If your favorite part of like, what's the like house on the haunted hill?
Betrayal at
House on the Hill?
Betrayal at House on Hill.
Because of that TV show that came out, I just mix all the words
Yeah.
together. I don't know which is
Yeah.
which. But if your favorite part of that game is like building the map, like laying out the map tiles, you'll love Bandita because that's the entire game.
That's all it
You
is.
just lay a map tile and you alternate. So
It's really fun. I like that game a lot.
I'd like to play that game.
You should
well,
get
too
it.
bad.
Super easy. Great
Is
for
it
2
on-
players.
Is it? Oh, it's only 2 players. Is it on?
No, you can play up to
is it on
4, I
Tabletop
think.
Simulator
I don't know that.
or whatever the thing is that we have.
Should be.
Patrick?
It'd be pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whatever that thing we have is. Yeah.
Okay. We should play sometime.
His internet finally froze. By the way, for those that don't know,
Sweet.
Andrew's in a storm right now.
Wait,
And
Did you play that game?
He's in Derudo.
yep, he's in Dorito, and he was gonna pull it up poetically. What am I trying to say? Periodically.
You sound like you're in Derudo.
What?
You're just gonna periodically cut in and out, and that's okay.
Sandstorm. It's that famous song.
Yeah, Gerudo
my-
Town
my-
from Breath of the Wild.
My mental capacity can't take it.
Why?
My mental capacity.
I like the
can't
idea that
take
you
it.
Because
so
of the
need.
sand?
It needs to
No,
be.
he so needs this podcast. But if you make one joke too many, he's gonna like jump out the
Can't
window
handle
behind
it.
him.
Can't handle it.
I'm just gonna give in to my urges. The urges are not great right now.
Okay.
Boy.
Anyway, that's it from my around the table. That's not true because I also started watching The Bear. My only thing for The Bear, if it's like, hey, this is really emotional and depressing, and like I don't like watching it, totally agree. But get to episode 5. It changes at episode 5. So if you can just hold on, the tides are gonna turn, and it gets more depressing. That's not true. Luke, I'm gonna throw it to
Yes.
you because you are our guest. I mean, you should have been going first.
That's okay.
I just don't
I mean,
respect you.
I kind of went first because yours involved me,
That's true.
right? So,
That's true.
my around the table. You know what? I last week I went and saw a film. I went and saw 28 Years Later. Have you guys seen this yet?
It's a documentary about your family or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I haven't. But I've also never seen 28 Days Later either. So I've never seen
I've
any
not
in
seen
the
any of the 28 series.
the 28
Gotcha.
franchise.
I would start in the beginning of the franchise and then just skip this one.
Oh,
I
that's
just watched the
good.
first 2.
Yeah, it's not like you can definitely tell that they're in the same universe, but it was enjoyable, but it wasn't as it wasn't what I was hoping it would be. I was hoping it would be
Right.
a little bit more serious, maybe a little bit more scary, and it just turned out to be just a lot of like not that. I don't know. It was fine. It was fine. I didn't love it. Really, Will? Okay.
He said it was
I'm
his
more in line
favorite.
with your girlfriend.
What
think.
is Will saying?
Will says
Said
he
he loved
walked
it.
out super happy with it, and my girlfriend not so much.
What
So-
I
Not
am
happy with his girlfriend?
Yes.
That doesn't seem like
yeah.
that's your problem.
Yeah.
something happened in that film.
Yeah.
What stands out to me so much, and I'm thinking about, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the
That's fair.
sequel
Ignore
that's
the last
also
10
about to
minutes.
come out. But what happens in the last 10 minutes? Just kidding.
Nothing
Just kidding.
good.
But like I Know What You Did Last Summer, the sequel's about to come out as well this summer. Another iteration in that.
I
and it
still
just,
know what you did.
I still know what you did. It's just so apparent to me.
I know what you're going to do.
It's
that-
not. It is a reboot. It's not a new. It's not.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't care. But well, it's clearly a sequel because Freddie Prinze is in it, so it's a continuation. It's so clear to me that the films that appealed to us in high school, they've gone, hey, that demographic now has extra money in their pocket because they're in their
Absolutely.
mid to late 30s.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
let's
yeah.
re-release these things because they'll have nostalgia and also money to pay for them.
Welcome to getting older, bro.
That's what
You're doing it.
And we'll get to
You're doing
ride
it.
this wave for a few more years, and then we'll get the equivalent of whatever Old Dogs and Mamma Mia is, and then we die.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's going to be for us. I don't know what that's.
It's gonna be
those
Jackass
equivalent
12
films are.
Is what that's gonna be. for us.
For sure.
But they take like a road trip across the country with their grandkids.
Yes. Yeah. It's
don't
their
know.
kids pranking them. That's what.
It'll
That's
be-
what it is. Yeah.
It'll probably be like Office Space 2.
I mean, we're getting Spaceballs too.
Right. And we're getting Happy
know that.
Gilmore too, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And
We
that
are
looks
Patrick,
not
we are
great.
In that.
That
we
looks
are in
rough.
that zone now. We are
Yeah.
in
No,
that
I know.
zone.
Like we get it's funny. Like you have a group of people that gets targeted because they're the like.
I want to see
tastemakers.
Wild Hogs 3, right?
That's what it's going to be. Exactly. But there's a group of people that gets targeted simply because they have nostalgia and money.
Right.
And we are in
Yeah.
the nostalgia and money category.
We're in the nostalgia at least.
I'm barely even in that right now.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about though. Just sell some of that stuff in that room behind you. That room is amazing.
I need all of this. This is the only thing
These
that
are my-
keeps me alive.
These are
and
my
this
things.
remote. And
These
that's
are
all
my
I need.
things.
I will say, listen, that the room he's in, super cool. I wanted to shut people out and just hang out there and like play with the stuff,
Mhm.
but that ceiling got me a couple times.
Well,
It
you
just
are tall. You are
got me a
not
couple
the
times.
average height of a person.
It got
You're
me
more
bit.
than that.
He's the average height of a hill.
That is true.
That's true. Like
Um,
an Ohio hill.
Yeah.
Like
Thank you. Which, by
Okay.
the way, is more hills than I realized because I then, after I played disc golf with you, the
mm.
next day played another round of disc golf down in Dover at the course you were
Oh,
mentioning.
that course, yeah,
That's
That's
a
a
hardy
lot of
course,
hills.
Patrick.
That course
Yeah.
has some elevation. Like
for
that's,
sure.
Yes.
That's
That's a good course, though.
It's a great course, but I was not expecting that good of a course
Remember
in
me
Dover.
saying you had to throw it across a valley? And what do you
Yeah.
think I meant by that?
it
It
turned,
was
and
an
I
actual valley.
I parred that hole, by the way. But
job.
like, if you're not careful and stuff gets away from you, like number one, you have a lot of walking to do, and number two, like you can lose stuff.
What about the tree corridor that's just on the
Birdied
ridge? and
it. That's holes. It's either 16
Wow.
or 17, and I birdied that.
Good
If
I'm
you,
job.
miss,
telling
if you miss wide right at all, it goes down that hill,
Gone.
and you're just
it just
it's
rolls off
Yes.
into nothing.
Yes.
I'm telling you, for every shot that was a bad shot on that course, I freaking laced that shot, and it was like, I was like, we don't need to play anymore. Let's go home right now. You all saw what happened. I'm done. But
who
yeah.
did you play with?
Tyler and Trevor.
Nice.
nice.
That is the most unathletic I've ever seen them look.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the only thing I'm better than them at. They took me golfing last time I was in Ohio, like a
Mhm.
simulator.
Oh.
I look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Mm.
This
And
time,
then also playing golf.
oh, I was commenting about before, yeah, and then but while we were playing golf, I look like an idiot. But this time, I'm
I
not
do
saying I looked athletic, but I beat them, and that's all that matters. Because you know I didn't look athletic,
no.
but I beat them.
Can I just say that there's something that happens when the three of us get back together and the dynamics shift.
Mm. What does that
It-
mean?
Yeah, what's
When
that
it's
mean?
the three, when it's Patrick, myself,
I
and
mean, how?
Lauren-
I know what that means. Sorry.
Yes, but
How?
when it's Patrick, myself, and Lauren, we pick on Lauren. But when
Mm.
it's you, me, and Patrick, we pick on him.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
gonna
And
get
it's
your comeuppance one day, and I want you to know that, Andrew.
I don't know. I don't know. It's not an intentional thing. It's just I'm realizing, like, instantly click back into that, and it's
Sure.
just.
Has
with-
it feel
it's
like an
wild.
old glove?
It does. It feels like an old glove. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, old sage Luke. Did you do anything else this week?
No, not really. I mean, it's been hot in Ohio this last week.
has it been?
It has been for Ohio. It's been very hot. It's
He
like
got you, bro. Did
No,
you
I
see
get
that?
it.
Because he just got you so bad.
I
It's
burned
like
you almost as bad as that Ohio sun is
98,
burning you.
99. 98, 99 in Ohio.
Oh shoot, that's hot.
Yeah.
It was only 96 here yesterday. Jeez.
Yeah. No, it was hot.
No, I heard all about it from literally everyone I ran into
yeah.
when I was
well,
in
that's
Ohio.
that's all that happens in Ohio is weather and churches and fast food. That's it.
Hey, the Browns. I think the Browns have it this year.
Do they? Okay.
Wow, they don't. All right, Andrew. Whatever. It's you. What did you do while Luke and I were being best friends in Ohio?
Yeah.
I think I said this to you audibly on the call, but I said I'm gonna pretend to be happy for you guys.
Yeah.
And I did a pretty good job of pretending. And
You
then as soon
did.
as I got off the phone, I said,
That mother.
because the jealousy was real. No,
Yeah.
instead we decided to have a baby and
Boo.
just try to figure out
Just
what
kidding.
life looks like now. So
yeah.
for those of you who are unaware, yes, we had the baby. Her name is Daphne, and she's cool and she's awesome. And we're still figuring out how to do life. She's figuring out how to be a person, and
Yeah.
I forgot how difficult that can be for a person to figure out how to
Sure.
be in existence.
Yeah. Like,
and so
yeah,
you
man.
can't reason with a baby, and I
No.
forgot about
No.
that. It's been 15 years since I've had to do this, and
Well,
so
especially one that's like a week old.
yeah, it's like they can't understand you. That's what it feels like.
Does this feel like an old glove?
This feels like, yeah. So, but the glove that it feels like, it's like the glove that you've had in your golf bag for 20 years, and like the
Yeah.
leather has dried up and it's like brittle, and you're
Yeah.
putting it on, and like you feel pieces of the glove coming off, and you're like, oh,
And you're
I
like, oh,
need,
this glove won't work anymore. I need a
I
new
need
glove.
a new glove.
Yeah.
Like that's what.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
this last week and a half has been the rude awakening to,
And
oh,
then it's
I
like-
need a new glove.
It'll
This
be
isn't a
interesting
glove,
to
this is
talk
a
to you
spider's
in
nest.
it'll be
Exactly.
interesting to talk in 5 years and say like, what was being a parent of a newborn like between
When you were
Daphne
40.
and Cooper?
Yeah. I'll be able to write a book if I can last that long. Once
Doesn't
all
sound
that.
likely, but
That's how
Um,
well it's going.
But it's just she's great,
yeah.
and that's where we're leaving that.
I
She's
have
great.
not seen a picture of her not asleep.
That's
Oh.
mostly what babies do.
They're
But
supposed to.
but if
She
they're
was-
not, there's usually a problem.
She was only sleeping for the first few days, and it was
Yeah.
like we were worried about her only sleeping for a few days, and now
Right.
she's the only sleep she will
Just
do
kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
is if someone's holding her, and that makes for a difficult trying to just live life. And so we're trying to figure it out. There, she maybe has some like digestive stuff, like maybe just trying to adjust Becca's diet, trying to adjust
Yeah.
Get
her
Becca's
eating
digestion
patterns and things
fixed.
like that, and see if maybe there's whatever. It's just it's really hard when the thing can't tell you what it's thinging. Like
Yeah.
the
Quick-
thing that's
quick
wrong
question.
with it, it's hard. So
So my understanding is that pregnant people have cravings. I've heard that. I don't know. I don't know a lot of pregnant people.
It's a thing. Yep.
Do those stop once the baby comes out of you?
I mean,
Or
do
do
you, have,
those
do you
continue?
have cravings?
Yes, but like I don't know if that's because they had a baby or not.
Do you have cravings because they had a
Patrick has
baby?
sympathy-
As
Patrick
soon
has
as they got
sympathy
pregnant,
cravings.
I started eating
I had
pickles and peanut
cravings.
butter.
Yeah.
Yes, there are still cravings, but the cravings shift. Like
Okay.
the
Now
hor-
she
I mean,
craves sleep.
the hormones. Yeah,
Shut
the
up.
hormones shift
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
wildly. So yeah, there are still cravings, but they're maybe different.
Interesting.
I will say this. Okay, so that's my only kind of around the table. But after we had her, we announced that we had her. I don't know if you know who Jason Wydell is, Patrick, but Luke, you know Jason Wydell. I don't.
Mhm.
Have we had him on the show?
I don't think so.
I don't know that we have.
Maybe very early.
Ooh, Andrew's full of misinformation. Becca said nope.
I said
She said,
she
I
doesn't.
don't-
I said I said they changed. She has
But that
cravings. but
that
they're different
insinuates
things.
she still has them.
She does have cravings. They're just for
No.
different things. She was craving a cold deli sandwich.
Well,
Don't-
that's
she's giving me. She's lying.
the whole time I was in Ohio. Luke was like, "God, I need a deli sandwich."
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. Luke was having sympathy delivery cravings.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, Jason Wydell is an artist. I've known him for a while. I don't remember even where we met. I don't know if he's on the podcast or we met him through some community somewhere. I don't know. See, Andrew is correct, is what she just
No,
said.
take.
Yes.
I'm deleting that message. How do I do
Hell-
this?
The hell you are. The hell you are. And after we had Daphne, he goes under the moniker of Oodalolly. By the way, that's like his online moniker. So you can look up Jason Wydell, or you can look up Oodalolly and artist, and you'll find him. But when we had her, he messaged me and he said, "Congratulations. What's her favorite Disney character?" And so we've kind of established Bambi as we're gonna kind of do some stuff with
Okay.
Bambi for her like nursery and things like that. And lo and behold, in the mail today when I got home, I got this original drawing of Bambi and Thumper. Let me see if we can
That's great.
get a.
So
I'm gonna
now
take
she doesn't
this-
have a choice.
I'm gonna take this full screen for a second. That's Patrick's face. That's Patrick's face. There we go. Okay. Mother. Yeah. Like he just killed it. It's just
Yeah,
an
that's
absolutely
great.
beautiful drawing. And on it says, on the back, he says, "Wish upon every star. It's a big world, little bird. Dream big, do great things."
Oh my God! And he's a
Jason Wydell.
writer.
Yes.
Listen, number one, this
Chat
is beautiful.
GBT wrote that, obviously.
Number two, do you
Andrew
regret
it.
not saying Hellboy?
Yeah, I wish it was Hellboy. I'm sorry. It's actually Hellboy.
We actually don't do Disney.
Yeah,
Mike Mignola only.
So thank you, Jason. Go check out his stuff. We'll put a link in the show notes, but it's Oodalolly. He does a lot of Disney drawings like this. He does other characters and things. He sent a few of his business cards along the way. So yeah. Anyway, thank you, Jason. That was super thoughtful and an absolute beautiful drawing. Can't wait to get it framed and put up above her bed. So
he also made every other artist look like a jerk for not sending you stuff.
Yep.
And
We
this
know who
is
you are.
This is the call out. I got some real problems with you people. I've got my list of grievances that I need to share.
Is that
Starting
why
with
you're
you,
so tired?
Draplin. I'm just gonna go
Hey!
alphabetically.
Actually, that's a good shout real quick. Draplin, number 1, you know I love you. Number 2, we played your dice game. It's missing some rules.
Oh, that you know what? You're right. There is it was the very first roll that I rolled is not scoreable.
Yeah,
It's
so
not, it's not in
basically,
it.
because you rolled like a 2-3-4 or a 3-4-5.
Yeah, it was like
So-
a mid run.
So what we can figure out from the Draplin dice game, we played 3 games when we were together.
Mhm.
Bandito was one of them. Another one I don't remember the name.
Lanterns dice.
Lanterns dice, the small one.
Mhm.
I guess that's the dice. And then we played. We were gonna play the Draplin game, which we thought was a game. It turns out it's just a head-to-head single dice roll.
It's a
So-
betting game.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
And you're
Draplin
supposed to
public
have money.
dice.
We don't have money, so it was very short-lived.
Mhm.
But as part of the
We
game,
can't be clear about how little money we all have.
that we have no money.
Send
We have
artwork.
no money.
Yes, please
So-
send art.
It's just a head-to-head roll the dice, and then you would like get money, which you don't have. And then inside the booklet, it lists like all the combinations and how you score them. So if you get, because each person rolls 3 dice, if I remember correctly, and so it's like a 3 of a kind versus like a pair with a modifier versus like 3 ones versus like a 1, 2, 3. It has all these combinations.
Yep.
And so the very first roll, Luke rolls a 3, 4, 5. That is not one of the combinations. There is no like 1-digit incremental combination that is not a 1, 2,
Yeah.
3 or a 4, 5, 6.
Just nothing.
And it was like the very first roll was just like broken.
I'm pretty sure I'm just out of the game. I think
Yeah,
I just
what-
Yeah.
lose. Can't
So
play
What
anymore.
would you attest that to, Luke? Would you attest that to lack of thorough game testing, or
Yeah.
it was
Well,
just
just,
such a rare occurrence that they didn't think they need to list it? in
Maybe,
the-
but they do mention other runs, so I don't think it's
But
that.
they call them all out. And I will say, so what Luke's probably about to say, like they'll tell you if you get a pair and a modifier, here's how you treat all of them.
Yep.
But for some reason with runs, they do not tell you how to
Just-
treat
it's not,
all
it's
of
just
them.
not in there. It's just
so
a
it might be
miss.
like a curse of knowledge thing. Like they just as they were looking over, like proofing the rules, they were like, "Yeah, we know how all of this works."
Yeah.
and just didn't think to go that one extra step and say
that, or just a real quick rule at the end. If it's not one of these things, re-roll.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
something.
just like a catch-all. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
also possible that one person was like, "Hey, how do you spell cash grab?" And then while they were doing that, they forgot to put that other rule.
I don't know
in.
how to spell it, but if you make it orange and black, it'll sell.
Jeez Louise, guys, that
Hey!
feels harsh.
No, but listen,
No, it's
pretty.
true though. It's so
pretty,
good.
but-
It's so good. I mean, dude, look. It's right here. I'm a fan. Right?
Hey,
That's
look, I got
backwards.
his.
I have
look, I
no
got his
idea what
book.
that says.
Look,
Well, you can't.
that's
It's
Draplin's
backwards.
book.
That's backwards.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is it
unless
Is it not to you?
the tier,
How do I-
the tier Schrodeny. I don't
How
know
do I
what that
fix it?
says.
How do I fix it?
What's the tier
It says,
Schrodeny?
it says the great indoors.
Okay, well,
The
this is
DVC
Draplin's
hat.
book here.
See, right here.
I gave you a Draplin watch somewhere. We got Draplin paraphernalia. This stuff
Love
is
it.
beautiful.
I
Yes,
love that
it's
man mountain.
beautiful.
He is my fave.
He didn't write the rules though.
No.
He probably let his cousin do it. That's all. And then they were
And
they
as
weren't-
we all know, his cousin is just trash.
Hank.
they call him Trashland.
Hank.
Hank.
Trashland.
Hank Trashland.
Can somebody draw Hank Trashland, please?
But yeah, can someone
Now, Luke, if you hold this up to your camera, it will read correctly.
Yeah. What does that say when you read that, Luke?
Because that's what I was reading.
Thank you, Swoops McKenzie. That made my jaw hurt from laughing. So
Unrelated. All right.
Unrelated.
That's your
He has
round table.
TMJ. Don't worry about it. All right, that's it. Let's talk. I want to talk master categories. Take us there, Andrew. Let's go.
Okay, well, that's it for our Around the Table. Up next, Master Categories.
Cheesy bitty buddies.
Did you say old dirty busybodies?
No, I said cheesy bitty buddies.
Cheesy
Yeah.
bidbots. We like to kick off.
You did it. You did it.
These
Good job.
baby babies.
Cheese my beanie babies. So, Luke, you know how we make up names?
Yes.
Okay, so the other day, this is a thing that Cooper does now. We'll be driving, and names will come up, and he'll make up names, and I'll make up, and we'll just go back and forth like how we do
Yep.
for 30, 40 minutes, right?
Yep.
It's just nonsense.
Yep.
And we were driving, and I said a couple of them that were so funny. We were laughing so hard. I'm like, please text me that so that I can remember those names. I thought about you every time we do this. I think about you, and if I had thought about it in the moment, I would have sent them to you. But the names were, I'm not gonna be able to find them because
You wrote them down?
What?
It was in the text.
I had Cooper text me because I didn't want to lose them because they were great names.
And what happened?
He lost them.
No, I didn't lose them. I just have to scroll. Okay, here are the names.
It's not like you lost them.
Here are the names. Bartholomew Willowsby, which I think is
Sure.
a great,
That's a great one.
great name.
Yeah.
And
Has
then
diabetes.
Skimps McCoy.
Skimps McCoy. It's
I'm like, these
good.
are names I need to use like in a D&D campaign.
He feels
They're
more
Yeah.
like a detective.
Skimps McCoy is on the case.
in an Old West scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next, Master Categories.
I'm not editing this episode.
That's good. This is a bonus episode. They get all of it. This is a Patreon episode.
It's the
I
extra
have to
bits.
set up a Patreon to do
We
this.
set up a Patreon
Yep.
to release this episode. We need
I'm not
everybody
doing
to apply. Do you apply for Patreon? No, you just
Yeah.
subscribe.
I think if
It's
you
on
have,
your credit and everything.
yeah. If your
Oh,
life
then
is in a
we're
really
not
bad
getting
spot,
we're not
you
getting
can
Patreon.
apply. You can apply to give, but like you've made bad mistakes.
I
bad
think you're
decisions
confusing
before.
welfare with Patreon.
What's the difference between a good mistake and a bad mistake?
Well, a good mistake might be, I got onto like the wrong
Milo.
bus, and it's like the cheerleading. They're going to cheerleader camp for adult cheerleaders. Do you not remember the bus in Dumb and Dumber?
Yes, no, I know of Dumb and Dumber, but who says the cheerleading camp for adults?
I don't remember the name of it. What was it called?
Okay,
Hawaiian Tropics.
yeah,
If Kreider was here, that was the name of it?
Yeah.
the Hawaiian Tropics.
I did say Milo Swoops.
You're telling me that everyone else on the call knew the name of that bus?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Hawaii Tropic Girls. They're going to like rub
That makes
the
sense.
guys down. Yeah,
Nope, they're not going the road. They wanted them to. They need somebody to rub them down before
that's what
they're.
I know. That's what I was saying. Oh yeah, they were asking.
Yes.
Oh,
Dumb
yeah,
and
yeah.
Dumber
They
to
said
do
they're like,
that.
yeah.
Yes. And he's like,
And they were
couple
like-
of couple of lucky guys get to rub them down with oil all summer. Yeah,
yeah,
what
the
a-
sunscreen company. Yeah, everybody knows.
You are in luck. There is a town about 3 miles that way.
My
I'm sure you
friend's a
can find
little
a couple of
slow.
guys there.
The town is that way.
That's good.
Okay, so for the rest of this episode, y'all just quote the rest of the film,
Done.
starting from here to the end.
That was almost the end, though.
There was.
That's pretty much the end of the film. Actually, I think it is the end of the film. And then they're walking and they're just playing.
I don't care. I don't care.
And then they walk off a cliff and the car explodes.
Here's the thing. We do an episode. We pick
They
a
were dead the
film.
whole time.
We pick a film. And as best you can from memory, we have to recount the actual script for the entire runtime.
That's
The
see how
actually a
close-
really,
Yeah,
that's
and,
my
actually
gosh.
a really fun idea.
and
Okay,
see
so
how close
wait,
we can
so
get.
How much lead time do we have to like? Do we get to watch the film multiple times and try and
Yes.
remember it?
I think
But I
you
feel
watch
like it-
I think you're allowed to watch it twice beforehand.
Now
Just
you could
twice.
we could also because it should be something that you know, but like we could also do like an episode of The Office and see how close to the final runtime you can get. So it's like you're looking for
Like a radio
accuracy.
play.
We'll take the transcript. Tell Chat GPT.
Tell Jack. We're gonna tell Jack, hey, tune in, sucker, because you're gonna love this.
Listen,
Jack doesn't listen anymore.
we take the actual TV episode transcript. We take
Yep.
our transcript. We
Yep.
get the percentage, how close they were.
Wait, so we're doing a TV episode now? You've totally changed it.
No,
It
This
can
is
be
way
movie.
easier.
It can be movie. I'm just saying it needs to be a piece of media we feel confident in.
Yeah.
And then we need to score
Let's
ourselves
start with
afterwards.
a meme. Let's start with a viral video.
You're saying, can I remember 2 lines of text off of a meme?
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay, I do like this idea. I do think that there's a fun, and like you have to try to hit a certain percentage. I guess the percentage we're aiming for is 100. But,
Yes.
see who can get the highest percentage.
No, we have to do it together. I can't do it by myself.
Yeah, it's a 3-part play.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought we each were doing our own.
No,
No,
we'll
no,
assign
no.
roles at the beginning.
I love this idea. This idea is phenomenal.
It's so much work.
Yeah, but think about how much and how little it'll pay off.
It'll be a Patreon thing.
This will be for the patrons. This one's for the patrons. For the troops. All
we'll
right.
circle back to
On
this at
both
the end.
sides.
But I do want to know, not right now, at the end, think about it. If you right now had to pick a TV show or a film, which you
Dumb
would
and
pick,
Dumber.
really?
Yeah.
You should be picking freaking Austin Powers based on the performance I saw recently.
But that needs performance enhancing. I don't remember that film unless
It seemed like you remember. Okay, so you would actually pick Dumb and Dumber.
I would pick Dumb and Dumber or Liar Liar. I would have to maybe do one round of Liar. I did the Liar Liar on a bus ride home from school. It was like a 45-minute bus ride, and we started when I ran through it and got as far as I could get before they dropped me off at my bus stop. But that was in high school. Like I love that movie.
Wow.
Okay.
But yeah, my brain maybe doesn't work quite so well with movies anymore. But if we did an episode of The Office or something, for sure, or Parks and Rec,
it is a good shout that like I need to think back to stuff I was watching in like middle school or high school because I probably binged something so much. Like if I could pinpoint what it is, it probably would come back to me.
Brack from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, like all of those
Sure.
segments and things.
Brack.
Teen Girl Squad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
Right,
mean
right.
that stuff's easy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love to see how. Yeah, that would be fun. Maybe we start
Okay.
there. Maybe we start with like a meme.
Oh really? Interesting. Interesting idea.
Maybe we start with like an internet
No,
television show.
we are starting.
Uh-huh.
We're starting.
Sure.
starting
Dumb
with
and Dumber.
Shawshank Redemption. We're starting with, we're doing the director's cut of Lord of the Rings. That's where we start.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
flip side is we pick a movie none of us have seen,
Mm.
and don't do it not like Mystery Science Theater. We do it serious. We take off the audio and we tell a real story.
Amistad.
We do.
Schindler's List.
Schindler's
I don't
List,
know if we
Amistad.
should, if I'm honest, but let's do it.
If I'm Amistad, I don't know that we should do it.
And they're a Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah. Sanka. I call
Could you
Sanka.
imagine dubbing the Cool Runnings?
Yes.
Not text. What's it called?
Subtitles.
Dialogue on top of Amistad
Yeah.
or Schindler's List.
I don't think Okay.
Okay.
Master categories.
Thanks, Luke, for keeping us on track.
Yeah.
As always, over
Yep.
the years that you've always held us to it. Thanks for being our straight man.
Sure.
Luke, what do you have to talk about?
I'm talking about Warhammer. Warhammer is.
No, I'm sorry. That is the introduction.
Here we go.
I have to cut around that.
No, here we
Just
go.
do
Here we
a
go.
fresh one.
Here we go. The master categories each episode are when we talk about the dice we rolled the week before, or in this particular case, it's when Luke is here and he gets to pick whatever he wants to talk about. So
Yep.
with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the original master of toys and games,
Oh,
Luke
yeah.
Gall, to
That's me.
talk about a game/toy.
Toy.
It is both, right? Oh man, that was great. Okay, so yeah, I'm talking about Warhammer. Warhammer, specifically Warhammer 40,000, which is a tabletop strategy game, and it uses
It's the
little
sequel
plastic
to
figures.
39,999.
Yeah, like they
Uh,
got it perfected on the third try.
it's a sequel to Warhammer 30,000, technically.
This is like
Um,
Apple naming. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
continue.
So yeah, it's a strategy tabletop game. So you have these figures, they have they're like little squads or characters, and they have a certain movement amount. So you use like an actual ruler, and the board game, the board game, the board size is specific to the amount of points you're playing in the
Yeah.
army. So you can have usually 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And so the more units, the more characters you have, the more points it is. And you just try and beat the opponent who has another army. Sometimes they're Space Marines, sometimes they're Chaos Demons, sometimes they're like mech aliens that are Tau. There's a lot of different kind of armies that you can play. I play it's back there. I play Space Wolves, and so they recently had a revamp, a refresh of their whole line, and so all the new models have come out, and I'm in the process of assembling them and painting them, and I have one here that I'm working on for my painting. This is my Wolfguard battle leader. So I'm doing it in sub assemblies because it's easier to paint. So that's his body with his thunder hammer.
I was gonna say I
His
don't see his
head
head.
is here because it is very small. Like if you can see compared to the size of my finger, that's how big it is. It's a very, very small figure. And then he also has a shield that I'm painting separately that goes on that spot where his arm is the round thing. So yeah, so you have, and that's just one. That's like a captain in my squad, and he leads like a unit of 6 guys, and that's like maybe 150 points. So I have like 10 or 12 units for my whole army that I would field per game. So I'm putting together all of those guys and painting them to. There's like common uh, schemes that you can do each army, different like base colors, or you can just pick your own. So that's what I've decided to do. This is my my getting back into painting. I haven't really been painting for a while. Like I'll paint one-off D&D minis for campaigns I'm in or friends that are in
Yeah.
campaigns with me, but I really haven't like painted a lot, and so I've been wanting to get back into it. And so Warhammer was like the perfect vehicle because I kind of like need a focus, like I need a reason to paint. And so I'm doing this army, putting it together, and it's been really fun. It's like super relaxing. It's really nice.
When you say it had a refresh, does that mean that just the character models changed
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
else?
So they've had the same models for the last, I want to say, like 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Have been this like they call it the firstborn size. So the sizing actually was a little bit smaller than these models. These are Primaris size.
Well, like the scale changed
Yeah,
or
the scale slightly
Mhm.
changed. They're still the same
okay.
base size, so the game is all about the size of the base of each figure because everybody has a certain movement size, and that's why you use a tape measure.
Sure.
So basing sizes are important for
So it's not
no,
grid based.
no,
It's
it's
just
just measurement
measurement.
based, and then
Okay.
it's all D6. So
Okay.
like your weapons you roll, and it's all D6 based. It's actually there's a lot of rules for certain situations, but overall the game is actually pretty simple. It's just you move your figures forward and you shoot or attack and try and hold objective zones on the board. Um, but so they refreshed a lot of the new models and made new sculpts, and so I decided to get in kind of right a little bit before when that happened. And when I always kind of liked Space Wolves, but I was kind of just looking at models that I thought looked cool. I saw the new sculpts and I was like, that's it. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And so I've been building my army, and I'm taking my time because I don't want to like just rush through it. But I have a couple guys that we're all like making our armies and painting and stuff. And so the goal is to start playing, and it's fun. Yes, I see that hand. Go.
I have questions. Thank you. Are you? Do you have to have them
No, you
painted to
don't.
play?
But
Okay. So do you have? I have. Wait. I have
Go
a
ahead.
series of questions. I'm just going to list them all out, and then you can answer because you might be able to consolidate into one. Do you have to have them all
No.
painted to play? Do you have to have an entire army, or can your army grow as you
Don't
go?
answer that, Luke.
Are there any? Don't answer a damn thing. Are there any? Is there any cards associated with it where you get different abilities and things, like a deck builder type thing that you have to cycle through, or is it solely just move and battle? And then finally, do you play it at your house, or do you have to go somewhere that's got a big tabletop, like an LGS, and play on one of their big like
Got it.
terrain
Okay,
areas?
so you do not have to have it painted, but it's cool because Games Workshop is the parent company that makes Warhammer, and they have a couple other games. They have Warhammer 40,000, 30,000. They have a small game called Kill Team. They have another game called Blood Bowl. They have a whole Lord of the Rings miniatures
That's like
game.
the
Yeah,
football
Blood Bowl.
style thing,
Yep.
right? Where you have a team.
They have a whole Lord of the Rings miniatures game. Um, that's all Middle Earth themed. That's super popular. Oh, see, yeah, Will used to play it. So GW has been a company for a very long time. They're I think they're in now in top 500.
They're at least 40. They're at least
Yeah,
40 years
absolutely.
old, because I remember when I was like
Mhm.
5 and 6 years old, going to a game store and seeing the Warhammer
Yep.
mini, like the
Yep.
metal minis,
Yep.
like the die cast metal minis
Yeah.
on the wall, and seeing these tables
Yeah, yeah,
when I
yeah.
was 5 or 6. Like, it's the oldest game that I remember besides like Monopoly or
Yes.
something like that.
It is, and yes, they have much of my money too. It is expensive. It's not a quick hobby to get into. But so to answer your question, you do not have to have it painted, because Games Workshop also makes the paint lines, and so they half of it is, here's your gray plastic, and you can paint it to look like your favorite army if you buy these paints, these brushes, these paint supplies, and everything. And so to get people painting their armies and to do that part of the hobby too, if you play with a fully painted army, you get 10 extra points in game
Dang.
automatically.
Oh,
So they
Yeah.
buff
that's
your stats if
bull.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Favors the rich, my friend.
That's
it
stupid.
absolutely does.
Okay, but let me ask you this: what percentage of people in the hobby actually play the game versus just paint figures?
So that's hard to quantify, because most people that play the game are going out and playing either with just gray plastic or with painted minis. Like it's kind of a mix. Most tournaments that you go to require at least like tabletop ready painting, meaning one base color and some sort of accent color usually.
Wild.
So if you want to play, and just because that just looks better on the table, and it's a little bit
Sure.
easier to identify what your guys are if they're not just gray. Because we're talking very small miniatures on a table. It's hard to tell what's what unless they're painted somewhat.
Like 32 millimeter,
Yep.
like standard.
It's very small. You do not have to play at an LGS. You can set it up and play, like the table behind me would be big enough for a smaller point game. And that leads into, you do not have to buy a big army to start with. You can buy a little kill team box that has like 5 or 6 models, paint those, play kill team. And as you gain more models and add more, those kill team models will go into a combat patrol game, which is the next step up. And then from there you go into incursion, which is 1,000 points,
Yeah.
and then 2,000 points. And then, yeah.
So there's
and
tiers.
it all really depends on what point size game you want to play. So they've made it actually this probably speaks to being a company for 40 years. They've made it pretty easy to get into. The plastic cost is expensive for what it is. I mean, you're paying like for a miniature like this, if this was just a character model, they're like $40 for one. Yeah.
What?
That's insane.
But
That's cost
but a
prohibitive.
squad of like 6 of these guys can be like 60 or 70.
Uh-huh.
I was
So it's
I was
not
expecting
like
you to be like $200.
That doesn't make
no,
sense.
no. So I
Try
mean,
me,
like
that's expensive.
so a character model does more. So he does more for your army. He has more abilities than
Oh,
just
I
a
see
unit.
what you're saying. I
So
see.
his
That
cost
he's a unique
is more.
character in your army.
Yes.
He's not.
Yes.
He's not a stormtrooper. He's Darth Maul.
Right.
But
Right,
you're
yeah.
literally buying stats. Like you're
Essentially.
paying more money
Mhm.
to get better stats.
So do you,
Yes and no, because those characters can't just play by themselves. They still need the unit to attach to normally.
okay. Real question.
You
have a
still need to
question
spend
for
the
real?
other $60. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. You'd have to. Yeah. So that's a total of $100. 60 plus.
Like
40.
to get into
Um,
a basic army, just a starter army, if you're not playing kill team, if you want to start with like 1,000-point game of 40K, which is like the smallest playable version in my opinion, is like $500 to get into an army.
Wowza. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So with the advent of 3D printing being so prevalent,
Yep.
how does the Warhammer 40,000 community take to that? Because
It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag because there's a lot of people that are like, that's way too much money. I still really want to play this game because at its core, it's a great tabletop tactics game.
yes.
So there has been a whole third party market through 3D printing that has sprung up. A lot of designers that are on Patreon or through things like Cults 3D or printables,
Probably even Etsy.
or Etsy, or Etsy has kind of cracked down on 3D printed stuff in the
Okay.
last month.
Oh, interesting.
So it's interesting. That's like kind of a new development because a lot of stuff was through Etsy, but it's switched to like My Mini Factory, which is an online STL repository, and Patreon. And so you have these people that are like, there's an army called the Imperial Fist, and it's a chapter of the Space Marines. I'm playing Space Wolves that are a chapter of Space Marines. Imperial Fists are a chapter of Space Marines. Somebody will come out with like Fists of the Imperium, and they look very similar to that army, but they're like their own design, and people can then 3D print them and paint them and play them as proxies. So they're
that's what
not
I
the
was gonna
official models; they're proxies. So
And
you're
you can't-
familiar with that from
Yes.
card
From
games,
Orkana,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you
And proxies
so they-
are allowed.
Proxies
proxies
are
are not-
allowed in certain places.
not in tournament play.
Exactly.
And
So that's
they
the
have
difference.
to be agreed upon. Like
Yep.
it's typically homebrew or home rules of or house rules of whether you allow proxies to happen
Right.
because
Like you go to your local LGS and you're like, hey, I have Imperial Fist. I'm proxying this as this captain when it's, some
Right.
other model. And then, as long as both people at the table agree, you're good to go. But in a tournament, they won't let you. Now, granted, a lot of this 3D printing, there have been actual scans of GW models, so you can have like the same thing. I think if they really wanted to crack down on it, they could go by weight, and that would probably, separate the 3D printed from the actual models. But
Weed out a lot of people.
you could
if it's fully painted, it would probably be really hard to tell because for the most part,
Mm.
when you're playing Warhammer, you're the only one touching your models. Nobody else is touching your models. You're moving them. Your opponent might take them off the board if just so you don't have to reach across the table. But generally, nobody's touching your stuff. So if you're getting scans that look like the actual GW models and painting them fully, you probably could get away with
and
it.
if they're being examined, you could probably get away with it just by weighting them, right? Like
Yeah. Well,
Hollow
actually,
weighting
3D prints will probably weigh more. That's the difference.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Than a cast.
Put a heavy
Yeah.
coat of paint.
Right.
Okay.
That's all
So that's
fascinating. I
yeah,
mean,
it's super cool. I'm really enjoying it. I love the painting and assembling model part of it more just because of the stuff I like to do. The game is good. I'm not probably tactically as good because I'm just starting, but it's
yeah.
enjoyable. I like it a lot.
It, is there anybody that's offering like a, full army that is all Disney characters?
No.
Proxy.
That
There,
could get Andrew pulled in.
it
There
could.
have been
And
there
if they
have
were
been
like,
some pretty good like Warhammer like people have made like a Space Marine that looks like Buzz Lightyear and stuff like that. There's
yeah,
some good conversions.
but with Lorcana and all the
Hmm.
glimmers in Lorcana, there's probably a ton of art out there now that they could pull from to create some of these models to do proxies from.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a yeah.
Absolutely.
Nobody would get it but Andrew, but Andrew would pay you $500 for it. No problem.
Speaking of Lorcana, they had their very first world championship this past weekend at Walt Disney World. So we have our very first world champion.
What's his name?
Wow.
What's her name? What's their name?
Their name is DKP. It's an Asian name. He lives in Germany, obviously, and I can't pronounce it. But he goes by DKP. Or they.
Why
go
did
by
you say he
DKP.
lives in Germany? Obviously. What was obvious about living in Germany?
There's literally nothing is obvious. But if you were to look up,
Oh, I see.
you would see that the winner of the World Championship Lorcana is in the EU, but he is of Asian descent, and I can't pronounce his name. And he goes by
Which means he
they go
must
by
live in
DK.
Germany. It makes sense now.
DK.
I get it now.
Yeah, I was confused before.
Anyway, and you can't have proxies there either. So that's
Right.
how they tie together.
All right, Luke, who you throwing it to?
I'm gonna throw it to Andrew.
Thanks, man. I got architecture last
Ooh.
time, and I got present architecture. And so I'm going to talk about something that they just released a bunch of information about this past week. And I actually sent something to you, Patrick, about this earlier this week when I first saw it. But it is called the Netflix House. If you're unfamiliar
Aha.
with Netflix, it is a streaming provider that has a ton of original programming. And in fact, they're leaning heavily into their original programming for these things they're calling the Netflix House. There are going to be 3 of them. 2 of them this year are launching in the U.S. This year. And then by the end of 2027, we will have our 3rd one in the U.S. So the first 2 are opening in Philadelphia and in Dallas. The one in 2027 is going to be in Vegas. But the Netflix House is going to be kind of like a Meow Wolf style interactive activity-based like indoor theme park type thing, but they're all centered around IPs that are exclusive to Netflix. So the one in Philadelphia is going to focus on 2 primary IPs. One of the IPs is called is Wednesday, and they have the Eve of Outcasts, which is an outdoor carnival. It's all indoors, but it looks like it's an outdoor carnival that's set to that gothic style that you come to expect from the Addams Family and the Wednesday the Wednesday aesthetic. And it says what starts off as a fun school carnival falls under Wednesday's spell to make a twisted tour through the macabre. And then the other one, Patrick, in Philadelphia is One Piece Quest for the Devil Fruit.
I know. That's the one I would want.
It says dodge infamous villains and escape the Marines in a high-stakes race to reach the mysterious devil fruit ahead of the Straw Hats. And so that portion of the Netflix house is all totally themed around One Piece. It's got the islands, it's got the boats, it's got all this, the docks and everything that are styled and designed that way. And then every Netflix house has a common area, like a center area, and off to either side would be the 2 major themed areas. But on either down the center, you've got Netflix Bites, which is a whole restaurant that serves food that's inspired by the different properties, and then you've got the shop that's going to have exclusive merchandise that you can only get there. And then the one in Dallas that's opening this year, and it's actually going to be opening soon. Like I've seen some pictures of it. They're fully in development. It'll be open by the end of the year. And the one in Dallas has 2 properties that they're focusing on. One is the Stranger Things Escape the Dark.
Makes
It says
sense.
journey into the ruins of Hawkins to find 3 missing townspeople before the horrors lurking within find you. Sounds like maybe it's like an escape room type situation that's a timed with stakes. And then the other one is Squid Game Survive the Trials.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
it's your turn to enter the arena, play diabolical games, face off against the frontman, and betray your friends, all for a chance to win. Nice. Kreider says that the Netflix house is going to be 20 minutes from his house. So when it opens,
I'll
Patrick,
drive
we
over
just
and
need to
we'll
make a
go.
trip,
Yeah.
and we'll stay with Kreider.
Yeah.
Done.
We'll just stay with Kreider.
I still
Um,
maintain,
we'll-
number
we'll
one,
make a-
this is all exciting. I'm going to sign up, all those things. I still maintain if someone would open I don't think you can call it a theme park, but a park where I could just do survivor challenges, I would pay a lot of money to spend my day trying to do survivor challenges.
I don't know why they haven't already done
It's
that.
crazy to me.
With all of these like destination-based themed attractions that are popping up all around the world,
Yeah.
like with the what's it called? Halloween Horror
Sure.
Nights is getting like Universal's Halloween Horror Nights is getting its own dedicated year-round horror attraction in Vegas. It's called like Halloween Horror Nights Unleashed or something like that. Horror Nights Unleashed. And you've got the Universal park that they're opening in Dallas, like just north of Dallas. That's like a family theme park. And you've got all these like little things that are popping up around all the Meow Wolves now that are around the country and around the world. They are missing an opportunity with
Yeah.
Survivor for sure. I mean, they've got hundreds of games to pull from now with 50 years of games.
And it's no more dangerous than going to a jump park.
No,
Like
totally. Or like one of those
But
like
aren't
the high wire parks, where you do
Yeah,
like the team
yeah.
building. Like it's no different than that.
let me ask this: how aren't survivor challenges long?
No, they don't have to be. I mean, there are some that.
Some are only
So
like
one of the
5 feet
things,
long.
one of the things that lengthen survivor challenges is that they're malnourished, and that makes it more difficult to think, or they trip, or etc. But a lot of the challenges can be done fairly quickly, and you can always break them up. The thing that they spend more time on is not physical; it tends to be puzzles that hold people up.
But
you
even
could
then, like 2 or 3 challenges can be done in an hour.
I mean,
That's a because of the length of the show. It's an edit.
Sure. That's or I guess 45 minutes or an hour and a half this season. But anyway, no, I think you could easily make it fit for that. Yeah.
So that's it. I'm real excited about this. I think it's going to be cool. They haven't announced what the properties will be for the new one in Las Vegas. But Netflix House, I'm looking at you when you open in Dallas. I'll be there. I'll be there as soon as I can make it, and then Philadelphia will head over.
Here's
and
the
hang out
here's
with
the thing
Kreider's.
that's interesting to me. This is the thing that's a little weird. Like the Dallas one makes sense. Stranger Things, and what was the other one? Squid
Stranger Things and
Games.
Squid Game, yeah.
Why does that
Okay.
make sense?
Because those are original properties. One Piece and Wednesday aren't.
But
They just did really good on Netflix. No,
they're
they're
yes,
not
they are.
originals. No, they're not.
They're not original IPs, but they own the property now.
I
Like,
know, but
it's
that's
not
kind
Addams
of like
Family. If it was Adam's Family, it'd be different. It's Wednesday, so Wednesday is their official property, and One Piece, they own the live action rights to it. So like, it's no
I
different.
know, but it's not. One Piece is an anime though. Like it's not.
I hear you, but like,
I
when you
just
think of-
don't think like. I don't know. It for them to be pulling off original stuff. They're just not their original stuff.
It's not
Well-
the original characters.
If you want a more private Netflix house experience, you can actually stay in the house from Stranger Things that features prominently in season 1, where you see the Christmas lights that spell out the alphabet above the living room. It is decorated still like the house, and it's about $450 a night on Airbnb, and it's located in Georgia. So if you're looking for a place to stay at the actual Stranger Things house.
Dang.
Down
That-
and then drive to the Netflix house.
and then drive to Netflix.
It's going to be a drive, but you're basically between the Philadelphia house and the Dallas house at that point. So
Right.
Yeah,
Just make
in
it a
like-
whole round trip.
I was
That's
gonna
great.
say in the worst directions ever. Just a full right turn, like a
So the way that like is full circle is then you have to like what car do you have to rent to drive? Like what's the Netflix car you drive to go to all those places?
It's
Yeah,
obviously a station wagon from
a
1984.
Volkswagen Buzz.
What?
Have y'all not seen the ID Buzz? The
No.
electric minivan? Oh gosh, I want it so bad. Mackenzie
Get it.
says I look
Can
like
you
an
imagine
idiot,
you in a minivan?
and I have no taste.
And I smell bad for some reason. And I can't read.
But I don't know what that has to do with this.
She also says I overdo bits. That's it. Netflix house. I'm looking at you. I understand what you're saying, Luke. There is something different there. It's not their original characters, which is a little frustrating. But
Like they have other ones to pull from though. They just pick stuff that was like
what would
super
they-
popular. I
Right,
don't know.
well, what
I
else
don't know
would
off
they
the top of my head, but they
Oh.
have a lot more original stuff than just Stranger Things and Squid Games.
I guess they could do. That
House of Cards.
That Kevin Spacey political drama. Yeah, we
And
could
you
do
have
that.
to just get away from Kevin
It's just
Spacey.
you're being chased by a predator the entire time.
They call it the Predator, but it's really just Kevin Spacey House of Cards.
No, Predator is owned by Hulu.
Black Mirror?
our-
That's not
ooh,
bad.
Black Mirror. Yeah, maybe that's what's coming to Vegas.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, That
Because
would
it's
be-
a little bit more
Country.
adult themed,
yeah,
possibly.
yeah, potentially. Okay, Patrick, take us to the end here, bud.
Absolutely. So I get books.
That's true. It's not original.
Thank you. And as part of books, I did just recently finish book 2 from Dungeon Crawler Carl. And that is the Dungeon Anarchist. Nope, that's not true. I'm on book 3, which is the Dungeon Anarchist cookbook. Book 2 is Carl's Doomsday's Device. And I realized that I prepped all these things to say about book 3 when the book I have finished is book 2.
Patrick, so when you told me that your topic was the Dungeon Anarchist cookbook, I thought he's finished book 3, and this is how he's telling me that he's finished.
So here's
book
what's
3. I was so excited
I'll talk about both real quick. Because
because it's already in the episode.
well, because I've already prepared some things to say, and I have a point of view about something I haven't finished. But what's interesting is the first 2 books are like 22 chapters.
Okay, so hold on. Let me pause you. I have not read these yet.
And I will tell you about them. But I'll first say that the first 2 books are about 22 chapters. I am on chapter 20 of book 3, and I checked the time remaining in the book, and it's 4.5 hours remaining. I don't know if it's a longer book or shorter chapters, but I am not nearly as far along as I thought I would, especially considering where the story feels like it is at that point. But that said, jumping back.
How long on average for the audiobooks is the Dungeon Crawler series?
No one knows, but I would guess 10 hours a book.
On
Okay.
average, it's probably 11 to 12.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. That's at 1.7 speed.
I'm on 1.5 speed right now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
so
get to you.
that's that. They're probably about 20 hours if you're listening to them on 1X. The one that I'm going through right now is 26 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dungeon Crawler Carl is a story about a guy that, well, let me take a step back. Basically, there are these alien races all across the galaxy or the universe. Earth is not the only planet that exists or the only race of people. And there are factions, and what they do is they take planets and they build this TV show around the planets. So they collapse the planet, take all of its material that's created on the surface, and use it to construct an 18-level dungeon within the planet. And then everyone that's alive on the Earth or on the planet that's captured has a choice. You can either remain on the surface and fend for yourself, or you can enter the dungeon. And if you make it through all 18 levels, then basically all the things that you lost are restored. That's at least what the pitch is. And I say all this because all this happens within the first couple pages of the first book. It all jumps in really, really quick. That said, the book itself is like World of Warcraft or some, MMO RPG or something. It's like that come to life. So
Sure.
if you've played any of those games, if you understand the mechanics of those games, both along the lines of how like talents and spells and
Yep.
things like that work, if you understand crafting, if you understand how guilds work or instances, or if you understand all those concepts, they all end up playing out over the course of these books.
Yeah.
That said, the first couple chapters, 3 or 4 chapters of the first book, it's a lot of like getting up to speed. That said, for those that have played like MMOs or these types of games before, maybe you don't, MMOs the wrong term, but these like RPGs, you almost don't need all of that because you already understand the concepts really well. Once you start getting past that, the books themselves are very fun, but then they also have a lot of suspense as well. They are very funny. There's achievements throughout. I mean, based on the actions you do, you get achievements, and a lot of the achievement text is ridiculous and hilarious, and the characters are a lot of fun as well. So the primary characters we follow are a guy named Carl and his cat Donut, both of who entered the dungeon, and they're who we end up staying with.
Princess Donut.
Well, yeah, Princess Donut, which is a thing that happens. But we're watching their kind of adventures as they start moving through these floors. That said, how many books are in the series right now, Andrew? Is it
There's
7
like 9 or
books?
something, right?
There's 7 right now. 8th book is coming out soon. at
This
some
has
point.
already been greenlit for a show, right? Or
Yes.
a movie.
It has.
Seth
That's
MacFarlane
true.
is helming the live action show adaptation.
Do you like that
Great choice.
pairing? You think so?
It makes total
I
sense for this.
I think
book.
it'll make sense.
Okay.
Once you read the books,
Sure.
it will make sense. I think it'll be a good fit. And I think if we think about some of the media that we're getting now and that's performing well, think about things like Peacemaker. I think this is going to be, it's
Yeah.
going to really fit that style of
It
vibe
sounded
and show that we've been
so
doing.
like when I heard about it, because it's obviously very popular book series right now.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like Ready Player One. Same vibes, kind of.
No. In theme only. In
Sure.
theme, like
Well, I know,
thematically,
I get
yes.
that it's a lot funnier, but
Not
like,
not even just funnier. The vibe is different. The vibe is very different than because in the not
it's
just
very
funny,
rude and crass and
right. Whereas Ready Player One feels like the movie was made by Steven Spielberg. That makes sense.
well,
because
you didn't read
it's
the
a-
book though, right?
I
you
did. I read the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read the book. And it's
I have it sitting on my shelf behind me.
read it.
Did you read
I
it?
own it.
No.
But that book required a wholesome treatment of it. It just
Sure.
wasn't as gritty and as like up by the bootstraps as this.
I mean,
book
Ready Player
is.
One is very much an homage to just pop culture of
Right.
our childhood.
And this
And the
is
main
that same,
character,
thematically it is that same theme, but the vibe
Mm-hmm.
of it is the vibe of it is very much. Besides Seth MacFarlane, I could totally see Ryan Reynolds helming this project too, kind of that Merc with a mouth type situation. It could very much be in that realm too.
Gotcha.
and so the first book is very much just learning the world, and it's very much about
World building. That's hard.
it is, but
words.
it's also from the standpoint of Carl, it's very much about just surviving in a world that is completely foreign.
right. You're
whereas
learning the
this-
world as he is, right?
Right.
So-
Whereas the second book, it becomes more of, okay, we're already surviving, so now let's build on this and actually
Thrive.
and start put what's coming later. And I'll say in terms of like pace, I think the second book absolutely keeps up with the first, but again, it really starts. It's fine. It is.
It
what it is.
definitely is the umlaut in there for sure.
Yeah. But in terms of pace, I think the second book absolutely keeps up with the first. I mean, that's the concern, is that somehow
Yeah.
the feel changes or whatever. It doesn't, but you do, especially when you start getting to book 3, you realize just how different it is now, even though tonally it all feels the same, but just based on actions and based on like the things that you actually get nervous about, like you kind of, are
You're
taking
not
that
caught
growth
off by the
along with
craziness
you.
of the world anymore. You're getting
Yeah,
into sure.
But there's still
You've
enough stuff
accepted-
coming that
You have accepted the reality that they're in, and they have accepted the reality
Sure.
that they're in.
Sure.
A lot of
So
the
have
first
you
book
finished the
is-
series, Andrew?
No, I'm on book 6 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on book 6 right now. I'm about almost maybe a quarter of the way through book 6. But
I
once they accept the world they're in, which takes almost the entire first book.
Mm-hmm.
For them to accept it, and then book 2 is just them settling into that role, and they're not surprised by things anymore. And the
Sure.
deeper you get, it allows the story to unfold without the like shock and awe of it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just nitty gritty. Like
Sure.
at the beginning, they don't like particular Princess Donut doesn't like getting dirty, so she doesn't want to kill anything. Well,
Mhm.
literally what the AI tells them at the end of every announcement that they do over the speaker is kill.
kill.
Like that's the mantra. And by book 2, she's not even worried about
Mhm.
that. She's not worried about getting her fur dirty or messy. Like it's this is the reality. We got to do what we got to do. And
Nice.
the story continues to build on itself. And even though each level, each floor that they go into is a totally different landscape, and the rules change, the overarching story that book 3 you're starting to pick up on, Patrick, I imagine.
And they do something I really enjoy. So I remember when I watched John Wick, the first one, right? And the first time you're told about the Continental, and they explain nothing.
Mhm.
You just see like this little glimpse of it, and it factors in a couple ways, and then it's just that's it. And
Yeah.
you walk away from that film just kind of like, what the hell was that? I want to know more about it. You know, it's like this very exciting thing, and it's part of the excitement is how much also goes unsaid. And I enjoy how many times in the book, like they'll throw out something about, oh, well, levels 3, 6, and 9 are this, and then they just walk away from it, and you don't know why. In the same way that Carl doesn't know why
Sure.
yet, but there's so many threads out there, and I love that they don't feel the need, at least by the end of a book, to wrap all the threads up. Like the threads just keep going, and I don't even know how many things that I've encountered that we'll just never hear about again. They're just happenstance. But I enjoy that because I also feel a bit of I'm also immersed in this weird place, and I'm not going to get everything that's going on. So yeah, the first and second book, I think feel pretty similar as far as pacing. Third book is a bit of a shift, but again, it is also a bit of the growth of now we're moving into this like grinding mindset. The one thing I wanted to call it in the third book. So one thing you'll learn is that Jeff Hayes, who does the voicing, voices all the characters.
Mhm.
Jeff Hayes voices Mordecai. Jeff Hayes voices Princess Donut. Voices Carl. Everyone is Jeff Hayes. However, in the third book, I'm sorry, Matt Dinniman, who writes the books, got what's the guy's name? That's the critical drinker. He got him to voice Vernon. I'm blanking on his name right now. But the point is, he got the critical drinker to voice Vernon. I will say real quick, critical drinker has said some insane things, but apparently this happened prior to that. But anyway, Vernon stands out in a terrible way in the third book if you're listening to the audiobook. It's just so
jarring.
I don't know if you felt the same way, Andrew,
Yeah,
but
I didn't like hearing a different voice.
and not just that, but it's like it feels like the recording setup wasn't as nice, and it feels like it's like
That's
the mix
unfortunate.
doesn't feel good. It feels too out front. It's just a very, very jarring thing. So Dinniman, I think was go ahead.
Well, have they come out with any like dramatic adaptations of the book? Like
So
where it's like
by book 5, the audio books have more production
oh, okay.
where there's
Yeah.
sound effects.
Are they going to be
and-
redoing the first ones?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because like I know like in popular books they have the normal audio
Right.
book and then they have like the ensemble read
Yeah,
books.
But honestly, even with the ensemble, it's only ensemble to like a certain degree.
Yeah.
You come to really appreciate what's the guy's name? Jeff
Dinniman, the writer.
No.
Oh, Jeff
Matt.
Hayes. I'm sorry.
Jeff Hayes.
Matt Dinniman, Jeff
you come
Hayes.
to
Yeah.
really appreciate Jeff Hayes as these characters. So it's
Sure.
like, if they were going to go back and do that, you kind of would have to choose whether you want the OG
Right.
but they do
Yeah.
up the production value as the books go along. I mean, it's like you said, it's incredibly popular. It's got almost 50,000 reviews, and it's a 4.9 star.
Pretty good.
So I will call out real quick. So for the character of Vernon, Dinneman did say that the issue with that, because a lot of people have pointed out how bad Vernon feels in book 3, that he doesn't he knew that he was asking someone who isn't a voice actor to do this, because I think I'm not sure exactly the connection, but basically he was concerned, like he was in his head about giving him notes. He didn't want to like push him and then make a weird situation. So it's kind of just hey, you just be the character you normally are and it'll be fine. And then he just didn't press him, let him go. And in hindsight, he's actually said he feels like he did a disservice to him and potentially like created a bad situation by number one, asking him, but also by not just pressing him and like getting a better take.
Him.
Yeah, so he's kind of like apologized for the situation he corrected. My understanding is he's like, so you just made a comment that things change about book 5. I'm obviously where I am, which is book 3. My understanding is that they don't use a guest speaker, at least in book 4, that it's just Hayes after that. But
and when I say I don't mean that they add more vocal talents. I mean that
it's just tighter. Yeah.
Well, and they put sound effects and they put music. And
cool.
Yeah.
But all that said, I mean, I can't speak to actually reading the book because, again, I don't know how to read. But I can say, like, listening to the book, number one, it's been very engrossing for me. And number two, it's even as I'm listening to it, I can just so clearly see how it can work for a TV show. And that's the thing that has excited me. And then so to find out, starting on book 3 and then hearing that it's getting an adaptation, I just can really visualize how well that can work specifically for this
but it can work the other way too. Like I read the whole Wheel of Time series, and those books are fantastic, and that Amazon show was terrible.
I didn't even make it through the first episode.
So that whole series, the book series is great. I really do like that book series, but if you don't have the right showrunner, it doesn't matter.
That really is what it boils down to.
So last note, if you start Dungeon Crawler Carl, and especially if you're listening to the audiobooks, for people like Princess Donut, they're gonna seem very almost too like easy or too like tropey. That's a great word for it. I was cringing a little bit when characters were introduced to me for the first quarter of the first book. At this point, totally bought in, love it, makes sense, it's great. But I just want to say, like, if you feel kind of cringy about it, you're not alone.
It's not unlike what I've told people, and I agree with you. It's not unlike what I've told people who have a hard time watching things like Parks and Rec, The Office, or Schitt's Creek, where they're like, "Oh, I watched the first couple episodes and it was just too hard to like. It was either too real or too cringy, or
The Office first season's too slow,
right? Or they were too like with Schitt's Creek, like the kids were just too over the top. Let the characters marinate and allow yourself to give in to that reality. And with all of those properties, as is true with Dungeon Crawler Carl, allow yourself to live in that reality, and those things that you hated about them become some of the most endearing parts of those characters as the story progresses. So yeah.
All right, good. That's it for me.
Good.
That's it.
All right. Well, if that's it, then let's roll some dice. Do you have any dice over there, Luke, that you can roll for Lauren? You ever have any of them? Great.
Yeah, I do.
So we're gonna need a D20 and we're gonna need a D4, and
okay.
We'll roll some dice, and we won't know what that means until next time. We'll just text Lauren separately.
D20 and a D4.
3 for my 20, 4 for my 4.
9 for my 20, 4 for my 4.
And I heard Andrew say 12, but I didn't hear your second number, Andrew.
Sorry, I'm a 12 and a 2. What do you have, Patrick?
Great. 3 and a 4.
Okay. And Luke?
9 and a 4.
9 and 4.
That's it.
Okay. Well, we'll tell you what that means next week when we have our regularly scheduled
who
episode.
knows?
You can find show notes and links to all the stuff that we talked about over at mof1.network. Thanks, Luke, for stepping in and hanging out with us. Maybe we should do this more often.
Yeah, we'll see.
If you like Luke, spam like.
I heard if you like Luke, Spanakopita. And then I don't know what else he said.
Your internet just completely shit the bed.
Oh, he's gone.
Nothing.
Luke, thanks for joining us. If you like Luke and you want to hear more episodes from our archive, you can check us out at mof1.network, where you can find show notes and past episodes. If you want to rate and review the episode, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, maybe Stitcher. I don't know if they're still in business, but anywhere you find your podcasts, you can, of course, subscribe, rate, and review, all those things. If you leave us a review, then we'll say thank you. And then, of course, you can find us on our socials. Luke, where can people find you?
I'm at Luke Gall on Instagram, and that's about it.
And you can find Andrew at Andrew Sale with 3s instead of E's. And you can find me at, I don't know,
One
Pitch Hitter?
podcast.
Sure, something like that. But with that said, we minus Andrew are going to get out of this episode. I'll edit his line in from somewhere else.
And then you say something.
You're going to say I'm Luke Gall.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Patrick. So peace out.
Hold on to your butts.
Oh, you're right. It is backwards. I should go in the middle. We'll flip it real quick. Okay. I'm Patrick.
I'm Luke.
Adios.
Hold on to your butts.
Bye. I might also flip bye in, so I just wanted
whatever.
it, but it's fine. We don't need it. I'll figure it out. So with that said, we're done now.
Hey, welcome
Andrew.
back.
We already finished the episode.
Good. We almost made it.
Yeah, so close.
We did almost
so
make
close.
it. Almost made
so
it.
close.
Just wrap us. Oh, I did already wrap us. What is this vocal you sent me?
I
That's
gave
5
you my
seconds
audio.
long?
Here,
Oh,
play it.
I was just
Play
going to
it.
cut it off another. Oh, can I play it real quick?
Yeah, let's play it.
Let's see real quick. Hold on. Oh, I have to turn it up. Yep.
And I'm Andrew. Peace out.
There you go.
That's so stupid. I'm using that. So anyway, no, we finished it up.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's an episode.
They did it.
Let's end the stream.
Okay. Golly. Y'all hung out for this, and he's just like, bye, everybody. Get out of here. All right. Let me turn some audio so it's not awkward. Bye, everybody. Enjoyed it. I don't know if we have rights for this song, but we're playing it. Oh. Okay. See ya. Bye, everybody.